Okay, now that I've gotten the Uncle Lou bet thing out there, let me tell you what I did, why I did it, and why I know Florida State will beat Clemson at home this year. I just know. The South Carolina video, I've already made one about that. That one's a little iffy. Difference is nobody accepted bets with South Carolina when I went to his channel. I'll also talk about why I went to his channel in the first place. Look, I've been watching Uncle Lou since 2016, since he did a video on Georgia after losing to Florida in Kirby Smart's first year. He had an interaction with a neighbor, and I thought it was funny, so I've been watching him ever since. He makes good content, and he also releases team-by-team predictions on games and stuff. He went through Florida State's yesterday, and I didn't agree with it necessarily. He said they'll go 6-6 with losses to LSU, which I did agree on. Wake Forest, I don't necessarily agree on that, but that wasn't as big to me. With losses to NC State at NC State, I agree on that one. With losses, home losses, he thought Florida was at Florida. I agree they probably will lose to Florida. And a loss at Miami, which I agree with also. But the Clemson game, look, Clemson has been going downhill. You got to not just records like I talked about with South Carolina. I'll kind of cover what I talked about with the South Carolina game. Now, look, the reason why I say they can beat Clemson at home instead of Florida is simple. The rivalry isn't there for the Clemson game. I know they play each other every year. It used to be a competitive game, right? And Clemson's kind of going through what FSU went through in 2016. 2016, heading into 2017 when they had to play Alabama in that season opener, was a make-or-break game for them, year for them. They kept having 10 or more wins in a year for so many years in a row, right, with Jimbo Fisher. Jimbo Fisher knew that if they couldn't beat Bama, they were in for a struggle, and they did. They lost Alabama, and they struggled. They had all the talent, but they lost to inferior teams with inferior talent at the time. At the time, Miami didn't have the talent. Louisville had Lamar Jackson, but the rest of that team, you know, Boston College, they'd lose to NC State at the time before it got to where it's at now. So FSU went through that. Since then, they haven't been the same. It's like Clemson losing to Ohio State in the semifinal. But even before that, 18, they were 15-0. 2019, 14-1. Lost to LSU. 2020, lost at Notre Dame. I know they didn't have Lawrence, but it don't matter. You had better talent than Notre Dame. You still lost. And you went and played Ohio State in a rematch, the same team, and you got destroyed. I know Uncle Lou talks about they lost to Georgia only by a touchdown, but Georgia also was missing a lot of starters in that game. I believe if Georgia had the same starters that they had against Alabama in the national title game, they would have won it, and they missed the field goal, so they make the field goal, that's 13-3. They would have had at least 2 or 3 more touchdowns to pull away, so it would have been worse than what it was. It felt like it was worse, and it was, than what the numbers say. It doesn't matter. Clemson, in terms of accomplishments, also going down. No ACC championship last year. No New Year's Six bowl. No playoffs. Nothing. And I know they went 10-3. That's a down year for them because they have so much more talent than everybody else in the ACC, and they still underachieved. Big time. Not as much as FSU did in 2016-17, but it's still headed in that direction. I don't care what Clemson has in terms of recruiting. It does not matter. If you cannot put it together in the games, you will lose games. FSU is living proof of that right now. They're having to rebuild what they lost over the years in terms of talent. Okay? That's why I'm not high on Clemson anymore. Until I see it, I don't want to hear about Clemson's coming back or any of that crap. I said it last year. They wouldn't do anything, and I was right. They didn't do anything. The defense kept them in games and won games that they shouldn't have won. Now back to FSU and Clemson. Last year, Florida State was winning 3 games, but they still did not have anywhere near the talent that Clemson did. Disadvantages. Talent. Number 2. It was in Death Valley. Clemson had not lost a home game since 2016 when they lost to Pittsburgh. Number 3, Clemson had been beating FSU convincingly since the 2017 game. 18-19, one-sided losses to Clemson. So that's in the back of their head. That's a mental hurdle FSU had to overcome. And number 4, Clemson had not lost to FSU, period, since 2014. And Florida State still lost by 3 points. And I know Clemson was down, but still the talent was there. It didn't matter. Okay, in 2020 they had played, they would have lost. Okay, FSU didn't want to play them. That's just what it is. Not the players, but somebody from that program did not want that game being played. I don't care what Mike Norvell says. But look, FSU still competed with that team. Found ways to compete. They still did it. So now this year, FSU is going to be a better team than that. I don't think Clemson's going to be better than what they were last year. I don't. Again, they're going downhill record-wise, achievement-wise, bowl positioning-wise. This year, they will struggle to make a bowl game. I know that, okay? So I don't care what the recruits say or any of that crap. Florida State's going to be better than what they were last year. Advantages, they'll be better than what they were last year. 2, Jordan Travis has played. He made a big leap from 2020 to last year. He got so much better. He looks like maybe if he improves, he has a chance in the NFL. And I think he does. I don't know about being a first-round pick, but, you know, he can get drafted or at least get signed and get somewhere and get some playing time and make some money, right? Unlike a lot of quarterbacks, unfortunately. 3, defense played well last year. They're going to play even better. Jermaine Johnson leaving is not going to hurt them too much. They got way more players coming in, and now there's consistency. Another one, Norvell's 3rd year. There's going to be more consistency, which I agree with on Uncle Lou's channel. Number 5, you're in Tallahassee. You're not going to Death Valley in a competitive game. Florida State is going to win this game at home. They're going to find ways to win. Why? Because I said so. More than that, but again, Florida State's going up. Clemson's going down. Now, Clemson was going down, but they were here. Florida State was going up, but they were here. I expected to be a lot more even than that, and Florida State might have an upper hand because, again, they're in Tallahassee. These games are harder to win in Tallahassee for Clemson than Florida State is and, well, it's about the same. The home team usually wins if both teams are worth anything. Florida State's going to be a pretty good team this year. Elite? No. Good? Yes. So, for that reason, you've seen it again. Again, 2019, let me give you an example. 2 games. Florida was turnover prone and shouldn't have been top 10 to start that year when Kyle Trask started playing. They beat top 10 Auburn, who beat Oregon and beat other good teams because they were at home. Oregon was a top 10 team, lost on the road to Arizona State in 2019. You see underdog teams win at home against heavily favored teams on the road all the time. And you don't have the rivalry, the hate between Florida and Florida State, Miami that you do with Clemson. So that added pressure is not going to be there for Clemson other than to win the next game, to win your conference again, which Clemson will not do this year. I told you. NC State's winning the ACC championship or Miami. Probably NC State. We can bet on that too if you want. So there you have my reasonings. You add those together. Funny stuff happens in college football. Like Uncle Lou said, it's a tricky bet, but it's a bet I'm willing to take because I see it's a big opportunity for me in this channel and to prove, hey, I'm right. You're not. Plus, I'm a little petty about Uncle Lou dissing FSU, the white Tonto thing. What's up with that? It's not hate though, but look, I just want to prove I'm right. He's wrong. I'm a smaller YouTuber. He's well established and well respected in the YouTube community, and he's always getting bigger and better. And I want to prove, hey, if I could beat him, I know what I'm talking about. I should get some followers too. Okay, that's all. But seriously, FSU is going to find a way to win that game more likely than they do with the road games, LSU, Miami, NC State, than they do the home game with Florida. Simply for everything I just said. There's no rivalry there like it is with Florida or Miami. You're getting better. Clemson will not be getting better despite the talent. Jordan Travis is going to get better in his own right. Clemson's defensive coordinator ain't there no more. Until I see that new defensive coordinator work with his own defense, have his own offseason and work with it, I don't want to hear about him. He hasn't earned that respect. And I've seen Dabble's comments. I don't care how they've been recruiting. The players they're getting are for next year anyway. So until I see it on the field, I don't want to hear this from Clemson fans or anybody defending Clemson. Shut your mouth and let the season play out. FSU will beat that team, and that's just what it is. Deal with it.